John began to climb up to the mountain with confidence. The mountain looked beautiful from below, but as the path steepened, beauty turned into struggle. His legs burned, his breath grew thin, and doubt whispered, "Turn back, John." But step by step, he kept going. Halfway up, he realized the mountain was not just testing his strength, it was shaping his character. Pride faded, patience grew. Each step became an act of quiet determination. At the summit, there was no shout of triumph, but only silence. The vast horizon stretched before him. John felt so small, yet deeply alive with all his feelings. Grateful, humble, stronger inside than when he just started. He understood then he had not conquered the mountain. The mountain had conquered his fear. My dear brothers and sisters, this is not a true story of any specific individual, but it is a reflective and symbolic story which meant to express the emotional and inner experience of someone climbing up to a high mountain. The story of John is a story of all of us. The mountain is not just rock and height, it is our daily struggles. Let me give you a few more examples. Remember when we just started a new job with confidence? Then deadlines and peer pressure and difficult co-workers make the path steep. There may have been moments of doubt. Maybe I am not good enough. But step by step, learning and adjusting and persevering, our character was formed. What about raising a child? What about caring for aging parents? What about dealing with a difficult teenager? What about trying to help parents to understand our point of view? These can feel very overwhelming. There may have been sleepless nights and misunderstanding and conflicts and disagreements and frustrations and even sacrifices. Some days feel like climbing straight up to the highest mountain with all of our emotions and feelings. But step by step, with patience and with forgiveness, hearts grow stronger as these struggles build deeper love and maturity. How about beginning Lent with 3 practices of prayer, fasting, and almsgiving? We all feel so confident. We desire to forgive somebody that we have difficult relationship so easily. We commit in praying faithfully. We commit to change our life for better by changing all of the bad habits. However, just from last week, the first week of Lent until now, maybe it feels like we are climbing up to the mountain with all of the daily struggles. The finish line is still far and long, and we just started the journey. However, we know that with obedience and humility, we can be certain that if we commit ourselves to Christ, then this Lenten journey will shape us, will build our character. What if I tell you that every time we approach the altar of the Holy Eucharist every Sunday, we are climbing up to the high mountain with Jesus? Imagine the apostles, Peter, James, and John, hurdle on that high mountain, witnessing Jesus transfigured before them. His face shined like the sun, his clothes dazzled white as light. And certainly Moses and Elijah appear conversing with Jesus. God's voice thundered, "This is my beloved Son, with whom I am well pleased. Listen to him." And then on the way down, after experiencing that manifestation and revelation of the Lord, then they struggle with holding the emotion and feelings that they have just experienced at the with Jesus, right? These are just so many things for us to unpack. There's so many things of this manifestation, this transfiguration of Jesus that we can reflect upon. We can certainly discuss the setting of the first week of Lent to the second week of Lent, speaking about Jesus was in the desert being tempted, and then this week to the mountain of glory, to temptation, from temptations to victory, from struggles to transformation, and how they all relate and call us and invite us to our own spiritual journey this season of Lent. We can certainly discuss the desire of Peter wanting to stay in the moment of glory by saying to the Lord, Lord, it is so good that we are here. But Jesus desired all of the disciples, and not only this inner circle, of the disciples, Peter, James, and John, as we know, not only these three apostles, but all of us, we are called, right? That the disciples are called to go down from the mountain to serve and to suffer for the glory of God. The invitation for us in our life of faith is that faith is not an escape. Faith is mission. That later on in the Gospel of Matthew chapter 28 verse 19-20, go therefore and make disciples. Each one of us are called, after Mass is to go and share the good news and make disciples. We can certainly discuss the voice of the Father speaking to us all. This is my beloved Son with whom I am well pleased. Listen to him. And that should encourage us to think of Lent as a season, not simply speaking to God, but Lent is our opportunity to allow God to speak and change us from within. And this is essentially what we have reflected this week, as the overall theme that we contemplate together. Jesus has transfigured himself in front of his disciples is the foreshadow of the Holy Eucharist that the church invites us to contemplate. The Holy Eucharist is a living reality that nourishes us through our Lenten journey. There is no abstract theology, right? But it is the bridge between temptation in the desert and the mountain of glory and our daily struggles that we face each and every single day of our lives, and turn that into transformation, turn that into victory at the Mass, preparing us for the cross, preparing us for the empty tomb, preparing us for the resurrection of the risen Christ on Easter. But sometimes we struggle. And we know people who struggle. Maybe to be more practical this week, I would like to end this homily with a list of temptation that we may face daily. That people face daily just trying to attend holy sacrifice of the Mass. Maybe because of laziness, right? I'm too tired. I can go next week. Maybe comfort. I need more sleep. Maybe sport and entertainment are more important. Busy schedules. I have too much work to do. I have to take care of my child's activities. Maybe weather excuse. It's too hot outside. It's too cold outside. It's raining. Maybe discouragement. The devil whispers, Mass doesn't move you anymore. Don't go. Maybe boredom. I don't like those familiar prayers at Mass anymore. Maybe resentment. Maybe what the priest share on one of the ministry leaders, what they just said hurt me. Maybe pride. Well, I don't need to go to church to be more spiritual. God is everywhere. Maybe of shame. Well, I feel unworthy because of my sin. Maybe bitterness. Well, maybe spiritual dryness. I don't feel God's presence anymore. Maybe doubt. I don't know if what I receive is actually the body, blood, soul, and divinity of Jesus. And I don't care what the Bible tells me. Maybe routine without reverence. Well, God is everywhere, so I don't feel the need to go to Mass. But what about going to Mass physically, but spiritually, I'm not there? Pride. Well, I don't think I need God anymore. I am self-sufficient enough. So my dear brothers and sisters, we all struggle, with all of this, with all of these excuses to attend Mass. Or maybe we know somebody. Maybe this Lent is an opportunity for us to invite someone, to encourage someone to attend the holy sacrifice of the Mass. And we don't know, maybe because of our invitation, that we plant the seed that people come to Mass. Like the disciples on the mountain doing the manifestation, the transfiguration that we just heard from the gospel reading today, we feel tired and distracted. But if we persevere, we see His glory. Here may be some takeaways for us this week. The world doesn't change because we wish the world to change. The world changes when we do something about it. That extraordinary is not just a title. Extraordinary is a decision. We don't decide one day to become extraordinary. We decide to accomplish extraordinary things. It is a commitment, a choice to stop managing our own potential and then start activating those potential within us. That the winners who rise above the noises are not the one who simply work hard, but winners are those who work with intention. And the invitation for each one of us this week, my dear brothers and sisters, is what is my intention this week?